Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. My name is Chris. I'm here with Brian.
What's going on?
Jake.
Hey guys.
And Jeremy.
What is up?
Guys, the new year is here. 2019 is dust. The decade is dust. We're going to talk 2019. We're going to do a retro. We're going to do a CFU rewind, if you will. Go over what we think were the biggest events. Was the year a good year for games? Bad year for games? Were things overhyped? Never in gaming, right?
Never
in gaming. But before we get into everything, if you love us, sub us. Like the video if you like this content, and let us know down below what you thought of 2019 for games. Alright guys, this is going to be kind of casual, but I do have a little list. Streaming services, right? Remember in 2018, in early 2019, when they're like, guys, you're never going to need a console again. You're going to get your Stadias, you're going to get your PlayStations, you're going to get your Xboxes, you're going to be on your phone, you're going to be in the park with your friends laughing. I don't know.
Didn't we say that it wasn't going to work when they were saying all that shit? Like,
yeah.
They pushed Stadia hard though, like it was going to be the next.
Dude, Stadia got
yeah, but nobody cares about the library. That's not how you.
Well, that was post. Like we just found out that it's actually shit. So.
Yeah, but if you haven't got the balls to back it up either, like.
Stadia launched surprisingly late in the year. xCloud came out of beta surprisingly late in the year. And they kind of work sometimes, is where we're at with that. PS Now went from $20 to $10. $20 is a lot. I don't know. I think streaming was a little came out a little early.
It was
underwhelming.
Yeah, it was. I think it's definitely the beginning of something, but it's a little bit too early. I think that like this stuff doesn't seem finished. Either like it's not well thought out, or it doesn't work technically. Like it needs a little bit more time.
Yeah, we did a video on Stadia, and both you and me played that, Chris, and it worked well in the beta when we played it, but from what I've heard, post-launch it doesn't work great, and the library sucks. xCloud you've played, and you did a video on that, but the short of it was that it was good, right?
Yeah, I mean, xCloud was fine, but I mean, so the problem with xCloud was they wouldn't at the time that I made the video, you couldn't use Ethernet. So, and you had to use a Bluetooth controller, and you had to use a certain phone, which are 3 points of latency, which I was able to mitigate on every other streaming service. So basically, there was the most lag, and it was noticeable. But, I mean, it was kind of cool that, like, I didn't need to own an Xbox One to play any Xbox exclusive.
Yeah. And PS Now, you also did a video that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
And
I mean, PS Now is also... I like to cite PS Now. Both of the... Okay. PS Now is very good if you are either going on vacation for like 6 months and don't want to bring your... Like when I went to Germany and I wasn't going to pack a console. I could sign up for PS Now for 6 months and play some games on it, and that would be great. Or like if you are a PC gamer and you really want to play like God of War, you can sign up a couple months, play God of War. It's not the best, nowhere near the best. It's 720p.
Oof.
Where exactly.
Yeah, the whole point of that game is the visual.
Feeling like it's 2009.
But you can play it, which before this was never a possibility. So from that perspective, it succeeds.
yeah, that's good.
So again, like that's not glowing endearment. I'm not saying nobody ever don't buy a PS5. Just play all your shit on PS Now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, works in a pinch. But speaking of things that don't work in a pinch, random ass PC launching things that were released and other game services. I'm talking about like the Rockstar launcher, Epic Game Store got heated up.
Bethesda
Apple
launcher.
Arcade, Jeremy was talking about. Bethesda launched
that thing.
Oh no.
Flopped.
It's just a marketing strategy, really.
But it's getting really fucking annoying.
But they want to get around that 30% cut that Steam takes.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like, I was going to say, why everybody should just use Steam, but, like, they got their hand in the pot.
But, if you look at Microsoft, who has now decided that they are going to publish everything on Steam and their crap Windows Store, like, apparently it's not that bad, right? If, like, a big publisher like Microsoft can support all their studios and lose 30% to Steam,
Yeah,
And
nobody's buying it on the Windows.
You're losing
Store.
30% to Steam, but you don't have the big box retailers taking a cut compared to like a physical medium. You don't have to pay for production. You don't have to pay for distribution. You don't have to pay for overstock.
Well,
Those things like you don't have to worry about actually manufacturing the stuff, contracting. Like you put the game up, you sell as many as people buy. That's it.
and it's access to the Steam user base, which is huge.
Yeah, exactly. You are losing
Like-
customers by pushing
That's a great
something
point.
on your.
Right. So even if you're only making 70% off it, you're probably still coming out ahead in the long run. But it's just they want to give you a pipeline on your computer to foist their shit upon you. Like they want to, oh, look what else we're coming out with, because like we came out with one game that was good. You know, it's
Yeah. Like Red Dead 2, what else are you going to get on the fucking Rockstar launcher?
well, like
There's
GTA
nothing
5,
else,
but that
right?
thing's been
Well,
out.
okay.
Like it's not yeah.
At this point, we're already, like, after that, what, San Andreas? You going to fucking use your Rockstar launcher for that? Like,
GTA 6.
Yeah, or like LA Noire, or like
I don't
Max
know, man.
Payne.
But you
Max
probably
Payne
already
2.
own that on Steam if you.
Exactly.
At this point.
At this
Yeah.
point.
But last year, like it was just Steam, Origin launcher, and Uplay launcher. Now I feel like there's an explosion of game launchers out there, and I haven't launched either Uplay or Origin since like Apex Legends was out for a hot second.
Yeah.
I think the oversaturation
Very
has
hot
like killed everything but Steam.
Hot take. Although it is new and like more controversial, Epic Games Launcher is my second favorite, or most least favorite.
Watch what you say, man.
Like,
Watch
no,
what-
but
I
I'm
made
doing
a
it
I made a
against
Tetris
it.
Effect preview video, and that shit got destroyed. The dislikes, man.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck them all. But like I have like Jake, I have used Uplay maybe once ever. I've almost never used Origin, and like I've actually used the Epic Game Store launcher a few times.
Jake and I actually got a copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free on Uplay, and like
Same.
we just
Never played.
no, we got we got it through. Google.
You got it through, but I got a couple other games on there for free, and it's just
was
not
like,
fucking
well,
worth it.
Yeah.
But besides my like political and moral stances against the Epic's game launcher, the free games is pretty nice.
They have been slanging the free games,
Yeah.
big time.
It's hard to deny that.
Got a lot of good titles on that shit.
Lots of free games.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting annoying. It's stupid.
Oh yeah.
And like the console people don't quite have this problem, but they have a different problem. These like weird monthly services that you can sign up for. I mean, Game Pass has existed, but now it's kind of been ramped up. We got Apple Arcade. This I don't know what the Google Play Store one's called.
It's Google Play Store.
The monthly subscription.
It's called
Oh.
Google Play Store monthly subscriptions.
Probably
Pretty
Google
much.
Play Store
Stardew Valley's on
Plus
that.
or something like that. I don't know.
Anyways, like all these like monthly things. This is happening in like the TV space too, where like you got Apple Plus, you got
Disney Plus.
You got all this
HBO
shit. This is like
Max.
this is the year where all this shit's breaking out, and I feel like we're not going to see 80% of them by the end of 2020.
The problem is everybody's like, oh, Netflix. Look at how much money Netflix doesn't make any fucking money. They've
spend a lot
yeah,
of
they've
money.
lost money. I don't think they've ever turned a profit. Like they bring in a ton of money
Yeah.
because tons of people subscribe to their service, but it's expensive on the back end. I mean,
And they have to physically put like Netflix boxes in every like ISP's. Like there are
Yeah.
servers for Netflix in every Comcast thing around.
and I mean, you're not necessarily like a lot of Netflix's expenses are for their own shows, like hiring talent and like acquiring people. And maybe you could draw a parallel to your, we have a streaming, not streaming, but like one of these subscription models with these exclusives on it.
Yeah.
So you got to pay someone to make you the exclusive game that people are going to want, so people buy your service. Like I don't think this is really.
So that's why I think these are going to work for the first party things. Like Xbox Game Pass will happen. I doubt Nintendo will do this, but maybe they will. Maybe PlayStation will get into the game. But like things like Stadia, things like the Apple Arcade, I don't see, without the exclusives, like you said, it's going to be hard to rope people in.
Well,
Yeah.
and for people that buy consoles, like it just like what's really the point of buying a console at that point? Because a lot of these things are multi-platform. Like you could just get the same thing on your PC and get an Xbox controller for $70 or whatever.
Also, console players are already spending, theoretically, like $60 a year on their online service. Like they're already paying,
which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I'm
like,
not saying it's not, but like they're already doing this.
Right, and with Game Pass, you can now pay for Game Pass and get both essentially unlimited Microsoft games plus your Xbox Live for the same price as what Xbox Live used to be.
Game Pass is going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Even if the PC part sucks.
Right. But it's interesting that you bring up the Netflix because they spend a shit ton of money on first-party, in-house like content, which is pretty much the exact same thing Microsoft is doing. They bought all the studios just to pump out Game Pass content. I'll be curious to see if that actually works. I mean, granted, Microsoft has like the money engine behind them, so they really can't ever fail, but it's the same models like Netflix and Prime and all those guys.
All right, I think we're ready to talk VR, boys. I thought VR. I made a video in 2018 about how I was like low-key done with VR, and then the Oculus Quest came out, which I bought, which I thought I was not going to be buying, and I love it. It's a great product. And I think that's going to propel VR into new spaces. The Valve Index came out, which is $1,000, but is in its own right a very impressive piece of technology. And Oculus still has a PC desktop counterpart in the Oculus Rift S, among other just Windows VR headsets. I thought this was a great year for VR, and we got confirmed a few big games like Half-Life Alyx, which we talked about, Medal of Honor, which we talked about, that are coming in the pipeline. They're not out yet. But then we also got some big games like Asgard's Wrath, and some impressive Quest ports. I thought this was a great year for VR. Like I'm in. I thought VR was going away. Now I think it's on the
here
up.
to stay.
I think it's on the up. I think it's on the up.
And I think we shouldn't gloss over the fact that Half-Life Alyx and Medal of Honor are coming out. Those are published by massive studios, and they are making a bet that VR is going to pay the same as your regular old PC title. I mean, that's huge.
Or at least be profitable. Although the incentive for Valve is a little different since they do own the hardware. But I agree. I think that's the first real experiment with like a major studio putting some muscle behind a VR title. I think that's where we'll see, is it here to stay to an extent, or is it not really going to progress beyond where it is now, which is kind of a niche product.
I think Half-Life VR could be the first true killer app.
Yeah, but we've also heard that before.
Yeah,
I know, but
for 5 years in a row.
I agree, and I think this is the most compelling possibility for that.
I agree. I think this is where we'll see it.
If we see it.
If this is the opportunity for it to break out.
And when Valve points their money gun at anything, good
There's
things usually
some potential.
come up there. And this, the Index is the first piece of hardware that Valve is putting out on their own, which is a huge step, and that's a lot of money. And now they're putting in this massive title, which we all saw the trailer. Looks beautiful for a VR title. I mean,
it looks insane.
Pumping the money into this right now. So they're making big bets on VR.
Though to flip the script for a minute, because I think maybe we've been focusing a lot on Valve software and the successes that we've seen there. Some counterexamples: Steam Controller, Steam Link, Steambox,
Yeah.
Lots of other things
Well,
that had a lot of money
use
put
our
behind
Steam
them.
boxes every
Yes.
night.
Oh, dude, I fucking sleep with my Steambox.
I
named it. I love it. I live with it.
We only use Steam controllers on Cohesive Friendship Unit, right?
Steam controllers are on sale for $5 right now.
I bought my
That's how
Steam Link.
successful they are.
I bought my Steam Link for $2, and then they discontinued it.
Yeah.
My Steam Link never worked.
So things have gone the other way.
But I guess the flip side of that is the Valve Index is extremely well received. That hardware is really tight. So
I think people said the same thing about some of those other products. Yes.
Yeah.
not the Steam Link.
So I
I think the Steam Link had mixed reviews.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I think VR still has a long and painful way to go. The problem right now is that people are fighting to be the standard. There is really no standard as to a generic VR headset. This is there's still the ones that connect to computers. There's standalone ones. There's not really
and this is why I love the Quest though, is because the Quest it's its own standalone device. Like, you can use it on your... We've all used it, at least briefly. Brian danced with a robot and dropped the controller. But yeah, it works on its own. But now with and this is another 2019 thing, with the introduction of the Oculus Link, you can plug it into your PC and get PC performance.
Even with all that fancy shit and like the touch sensitive controllers and all, and the head tracking and the motion tracking and all that, the fact of the matter is I dropped the controller and could not find it in real life, and therefore could not continue playing the game. Like, there's differences in how you have to make those games.
Yeah.
If you look at the games that come with the VR headsets, and you look at like the demo games that came with like the NES, or not the demos, but like the pack-ins and stuff that came with the NES, like it's very different. They're not the VR games are much more like focus one thing at a time. You can't put all those things together and expect it to work the first time every time. Like, if you're having people get thrown around and shit like that, like, it's gonna make people sick.
Yeah, there is still that.
There's a lot of hurdles, and I think a lot of them are psychological, like just changing how people, if we're going forward with VR, which it seems like that's the way things are going.
Zuckerberg will make it happen.
Dude, Zuckerberg sold you that fucking Oculus, man. He's in your eyes now.
Yeah.
But like, if that's the way things are going, it's game developers are going to have to change like the way they think about developing games fundamentally, and until some consensus as to this is how you do it is really formed, I think it's still going to be, like Jay said, a niche product. It's the Wild West right now.
Yeah, and adding in maybe a final thought here, I think part of the success that we are seeing with VR is we've got Valve driving up the high-end side, which you need those top-of-the-line pieces of hardware that are driving forward the technology, and then you have Oculus that is bringing in the cheap-end, accessible VR. So you have a lot of good products in both ends of the spectrum, which is really making a difference right now, because we've always had the high end, but we never had the low end like the Quest, which is affordable and very accessible to a lot of people. That's probably
and doesn't suck.
And doesn't suck. I mean, I'm thinking about getting the Quest myself, and I've been hesitant to do that because they've been so expensive. So I think that's part of the success, is seeing both ends of that spectrum getting pushed forward really well this year.
Yeah. Because exactly. Like, basically a few years, like 2 years ago, you were basically spending $800. Like, even if you went the Oculus route, once you got the headset, you need to get another sensory for room scale. You need to get the touch controllers. Like, so yeah, I agree. The price range is great.
And then you're playing VR chat at a price of $8.
And then,
like, the games have come a long way.
Like, you'd be me playing VR poker, like,
or the IKEA game, like whatever.
Yeah. But Brian, have you ever played poker with Garfield?
No, I haven't.
Well, you haven't lived in
or Hank Hill. All right. Well, let's shift to the next topic, which is, this might have been the last E3, in a sense. E3 is going through a radical transformation next year. That being, they're going to be attracting influencers. It's going to be more like an Instagram, Twitter, YouTube circle jerk, where instead of having pressers with the big three, as Sony wasn't even at it this year, but theoretically Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. Now it's going to be like, let's get Michael Jordan to play NBA 2K with Ninja kind of thing. Like, that's the vibe going forward. So, RIP E3. Again, this E3 wasn't even that spectacular because Sony wasn't there, but I don't know, I'm sad. I loved E3 as a kid.
That description you gave has big time negative energy. That's not good for my aura, dude. I don't like that.
I don't think we'll be seeing too many more E3s. Yeah.
That's what the kids are into nowadays. Nobody was talking about influencers 2 years ago. Yeah. That's a recent development. Well, but the concept is to the point that it is today.
It existed.
It existed, but
now,
we
like,
did
boomers know. Like, boomers know. They're like, we like I bet like every corporation's like, yo, we gotta get an influencer.
Yeah.
Like every boardroom's like, what influencer?
Well, that's just their confused babbling as they try and decode the world around them.
Yeah. But we're not going to get those big press releases anymore that we used to get, which I'm sad about. I mean, we already saw Sony pull out. Nintendo's like never been a part.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing.
But it's like it's going to be weird, right? Because theoretically, that news gets dispersed evenly across the year. Like,
I think they should have like a release season. They should all like release something, have a gentleman's agreement, if you will.
they should be like, fuck E3, let's go do our own E3.
E4.
Yeah, let's do E4.
E4.
Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Excellence.
Extra. I love it. I love it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think all of our anticipation for E3 2020 is not
Dim. That said, I do think that we'll continue to have big pressers like we have had, like Sony had this year, like the major Nintendo presser that they had. Even though they did go to E3, I think Microsoft. I mean, they already have what is it like? Xbox Celebration, Xbox
EXO or whatever.
EXO.
Xbox
Celebration.
We just covered this.
It'll be bad, but hopefully not bad.
They won't be celebrating Xbox necessarily.
We have had like TwitchCon is essentially an influencer focused event.
Oof.
PAX and a lot of these other non E3 big events are often all the like interviews and panels are led by influencers. So we've had a lot of influencers involved in these events. But I guess it's kind of sad to see the last like big organization go the way of influencers. Ironically, I guess we're technically influencers because we have a YouTube channel, but
Yeah,
I
we
don't
influence the people.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, we do everything we do here for the gram.
Yeah,
I do it for the bag.
check out our nudes on Insta.
What?
Nudes and
No, that's
nudes.
Patreon.
Sorry,
That's
Patreon.
Patreon.
It's Patreon
Yeah.
only.
Chill. All right. Well, let's shift over to. I don't know. This one's interesting, right? I think Battle Royale is
Done.
See,
All right.
It's a dead
it's
meme.
not. It's a different. Yeah, I think we've all calmed down. I think what's there is there. Like Apex
Put a fork in
happens and is kind of still around, and Fortnite's still around, but I think Battlefield 5 totally flopped. PUBG is it's doing fine in China, but like it's effectively dead or not dead, but it's not growing anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be seeing any new Battle Royale games.
Well, like you put the question differently. What was the big shooter of 2018? I think you could argue like Fortnite, one of these other, maybe PUBG. That might have been 2017. But what was the big shooter last year or this past year?
This year,
Yeah,
shooter. I would say Apex.
Could have
still
been
had a good
Apex.
year.
I mean, Apex
Modern-
was like
Modern
a
Warfare,
flash in the pan,
maybe.
though.
That's so recent.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare. It's recent, but like I've heard way more hype, just like anecdotally.
But that has
From-
like
from
your
people out
classic
in
Call of Duty
society.
guys in there. So
It
Call of
does,
Duty always sells well.
but my point is just that I haven't heard the same hype. Anecdotally, people out in the world talking about playing battle royales as I have people just playing, more
Yeah.
conventional online shooters.
yeah, I know a couple people at work. I mean, I think every battle royale this year kind of was big for a month. But I know a lot of people at work are still playing the most recent Call of Duty, just the regular deathmatch to this day. And it came out a couple months ago, right? So that's king right now. It's just your traditional game modes.
The craze is died.
The craze is
The craze
died.
is gone.
The craze has died. And I mean, shit, like, PUBG got us our first over 100 video and our first 1,000 view video.
Thank
That
you,
game
PUBG.
still
Yeah.
sucked. That game sucked. It always sucked. It was the only reason it was novel was because of the battle royale thing, and that's why people played it, and that's why you saw the explosion. And everybody's gonna have a battle royale now that they're kind of like done with their upward trajectory. They're not. There's no reason to put that in your game.
But it kindled the cohesion.
It did.
Yeah.
The
Well, the cohesion's
started
always been
with
here,
PUBG.
boys.
Yeah.
But it kindled the channel.
Yeah.
We got us some views. All right. Well, so I guess the last topic, unless you guys can think of anything else, is if we have anything to talk about with our channel, because this is the last video of the year for our channel. I don't know.
Why is Pikachu so sexy?
we hit 1,000 subs this year, which was big. We I don't know. We are much bigger than we were at the beginning of 2018 than we were in 2019.
Yeah, we had a good year this year.
We had a good year.
And I think it was a lot and part of the support that we got from the viewers. So,
Well, yeah, like, because you can't get people don't sub.
Yeah.
I can only click the same video.
All
So
right,
we can only hit refresh.
I think
so
we
many
have
times.
done a lot better with our videos. Our content has improved as we've learned more. But the support of the viewers telling us what they really appreciate and putting all the comments that Chris takes the time to respond to all of those, that has helped us and motivated us to continue making these videos and improving.
Especially the profane and bizarre comments.
Yeah,
we really do enjoy
we
those.
do. If I don't respond to those, know that they are at least being shared.
They're loved.
Yeah.
They're loved.
Honestly, this is a real shout out to the fans. If you could increase the profane and bizarre comments, we've seen a drop off
toned
in
down.
recent weeks.
They
They've
toned
become
down.
more normal, less just bizarre.
All the heroes that stick out to the end of the videos and listen to Brian's advice on what weird things to say in the comments, you guys are the heroes we're looking for.
If you're still listening now, thank you. Thank you for growing with us as we got progressively better, less bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like this was our year,
We made it, boys.
considering we're only 2+ years old. But like, I don't think any of us thought we were gonna get this big in 2019.
We're huge.
Yeah,
Worldwide.
and now that we're bigger, like you're seeing more content coming out from us. We're putting videos out almost every couple of days, which is
Pretty much every other day.
it's a lot.
It's a lot of
There's
content.
4 of us, and it's a lot. So
Yep. All right, that's 2019. That's our 2019
In a nutshell.
rewind. We're hashtag influencers, yo.
Should we put some hashtags on the
There
video?
you go.
use our referral link, brah. This is brought to you by Skillshare. No.
yeah, let us know in the comments what do you think of our influencing.
Yeah. Did we influence you?
Yeah, that's a scary thought. Influencing people out there. Oh,
How should we be influencing our viewers? What
we should be influencing them to make more profane and bizarre comments. So if you've been twitching with your fingers over the keyboard there, waiting, now's your chance. Go ahead and hammer your thoughts there down in the word box. And like Chris said at the beginning of the video, we're giving away some games. What are we giving away?
Dark Stars 2?
Dark Stars 2?
Yeah.
Dark Stars 2. So if you want Dark Stars 2, that sounds like a fun game. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you don't want Dark Stars 2, well, don't worry. We have a whole bunch more games that we do give out all the time. And if you watch this far, you probably liked it. So go ahead and click that subscribe button, won't you? And smoke them if you get them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
Thank you, Brian. We'll catch you guys next time.